Radio frequency interference, or RFI, is electromagnetic energy given off by devices like police radios, radar units, dispatch systems, cell towers, and even some fluorescent lighting. Breath testing machines contain sensitive electronic components. When that electromagnetic energy reaches those components, it can cause the machine to report a blood alcohol reading that is higher than what was actually in your breath sample. California's Title 17 regulations, the rules that govern how evidentiary breath tests must be conducted, actually acknowledge this risk by requiring approved breath instruments to have RFI detectors built in. Think about where your evidentiary breath test happened. Most likely inside a police station or a mobile testing unit at the curb. Officers carry portable radios that broadcast on the very frequencies known to interfere with breath instruments. Dispatch communications, radar equipment stored nearby, and handheld devices on officers' belts all create an electromagnetic environment that is far from neutral. The machine sitting on the booking counter may be surrounded by exactly the kind of signals it is designed to detect and reject, but the detector does not catch every instance of interference. Breath machines must be checked and calibrated at regular intervals under Title 17, and the records of those checks are discovery you are entitled to request. A defense attorney reviewing those records looks for whether the RFI detector module was tested separately, whether any unusual readings were logged around the time of an arrest, and whether the machine was overdue for service. A gap in calibration history, or a skipped RFI verification step, is exactly the kind of issue that can support a motion to challenge the breath evidence in court. The handheld preliminary alcohol screening device, called a PAS, that an officer uses at the roadside is a separate instrument from the evidentiary machine at the station. Because it is used outdoors, close to the officer's radio and vehicle equipment, it is actually more exposed to RFI. California law treats the PAS as a screening tool. The evidentiary result from the station instrument is what the prosecution relies on in court, because that instrument is governed by Title 17. But the PAS reading is what shaped the officer's decision to arrest you, and if that reading was distorted, it goes directly to whether probable cause for the arrest holds up. An RFI argument on its own rarely ends a case by itself. It becomes most powerful when it combines with other irregularities. A breath result that seems inconsistent with how the driver performed on field sobriety tests, a machine that had a maintenance gap in the weeks before the arrest, or a meaningful gap in time between the traffic stop and the test. That last point matters because prosecutors use the breath result to argue your BAC at the time you were driving, not just the time you blew into the machine. When RFI distortion adds to an already uncertain timeline, the reliability of the state's number becomes genuinely worth examining. Time also matters for a different reason. From the date of arrest, you have 10 days to request a DMV hearing or you lose your license automatically. Every breath test case is different, and whether RFI affected your specific result depends on the machine, the agency, and the night of your arrest. Results vary, and there is no promised outcome. I'm Joel Brand, a California DUI lawyer. This is general information, not legal advice. If you want a free written case analysis, it is at DUI.guru.